Hey, what's up guys, Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be going over some insane budget decks. Now these aren't necessarily going to be the decks that you would think they are. Like, this isn't going to be your Burning Abyss hero list. I'm talking about the cheapest decks that you can buy in the game. I'm going to exclude some of the structure deck builds because those are always going to be cheap, but I'm saying some like dirt cheap decks that can actually win. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting out at number 5, we have Tenu. Now Tenu is a really cool archetype. It mainly revolves around you having normal monsters on the field and then having the ability to swarm the field with your your Tenu spirits. Now I should actually have profiles for all these decks on my channel somewhere, so if you want you can go check them out. So Tenu, again, it's a very cool archetype. They actually have some effective measures in the deck, like they can set up some pretty big monsters on top of the fact that they have some like really strong spells and traps. Like, I'm pretty sure their field spell is a Pot of Greed if you control a non-effect monster. And they have the most insane card in the game, Fists of the Unrivaled Tenu, which literally, if it gets destroyed, you get to special summon a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon from your extra deck, no cost. It is an amazing archetype. It is very powerful at that. And you could buy most of the cards for dirt cheap. Like, of course, excluding staples like Ash and stuff, you could buy most of the deck for less than, if not equal to, 20 bucks. And it's just a really good deck to pick up, and I highly suggest picking it up because it's a very fun, and it's actually a competitive feeling deck. So yeah, that is why Tenu gets my number 5 spot. Coming in at number 4, we have DDDs. Now this, I told myself I wouldn't do any structure deck ones, but this is the one exception I'm giving myself. DDDs, the structure deck is solid. It gives you all the cards that you need and almost all the cards that you need in the deck, and then you can only spend like 10 bucks afterwards and make a super good deck. Like, sure, some cards like Ghost are a bit expensive, and you do have to buy staples like Borlode Savage Dragon, which is 7 bucks, but even if you don't go full power, you can still buy 3 of the structure deck and have a really good deck. Like, I'm talking a super solid deck. I actually, again, have a profile for that on my channel. Go check it out. I have the $30 build and I have the full power build if you want either of them. So again, DDDs is such a powerful deck. The deck has amazing graveyard interactions, which is why people like it a lot, because it's like almost all the cards have graveyard effects, despite the fact that it's a pendulum archetype. So it's kind of like clashing, but the deck is still amazing. It can destroy the meta, and it's just a really solid deck. So that is why DDD gets my number 4 spot. Coming in at number 3, we have Crusadia. Now this deck is known for how cheap it is. This deck is a very solid rogue pick. It can destroy every single deck in the meta. Like, going first, this deck is amazing. Going second, this deck works really well, other than with Drytron because they set up like your negate stuff. But like, the deck snowballs so easily. Basically, the whole point of the deck is to summon your Crusadia monsters to zones that Link monsters point to, and then your Crusadia monsters get effects when they're summoned, which is really good. On top of the fact that the deck has like dragon interactions with like guard dragons, on top of the fact that if you really want to build up, this is the perfect deck to buy, because the like, seriously, one of the best variants of Buster Blader is the Buster Blader Crusadia archetype, which is just so powerful and super consistent at that. And it's a very, very solid deck. So if, again, this is a great deck if you want to buy for like 20 bucks and then continue to build on it and make it your permanent deck. It's a great deck to do that. So that is why it gets my number 3 spot. Coming in at number 2, we have Megalith. Megalith has always been like one of my favorite decks. Like ever since it came out, this deck has just been so cool. It only recently started seeing competitive play, and sure, you might not be able to pick up the entire deck, like the full power deck for 30 bucks, but the Megalith core, like 3 full, 3 Ophiel, 3 Haggith, 3 Bethor, 3 Aeratron, 2 Phaleg, and then all the spells and traps. You basically have an entire deck on that. And then, like, the most expensive card that you would desperately need to pick up at that point is Magician of Black Chaos Max, which is only like maybe a 50-cent card. Like, that card is dirt cheap at this point. And even if you play the budget variant with literally playing 3 Magician and maxing out on all of the other Megalith cards, you're still gonna have amazing locks. Like, because Ben 10 is dirt cheap, so you can put a Ben 10 engine in there where you put Vanity's Ruler and Cyber Angel Benton, so that way you can actually set up a Magician of Black Chaos and a Vanity's Ruler. You can lock your opponent out of playing the game next turn for a deck that costs maybe 10 bucks. And it is just an amazing deck, and it definitely deserves the number 2 spot. But coming in at number 1, we have a deck that I've actually built in real life, and is that it's just so powerful, and that is Evil Eye. Evil Eye is an amazing deck. It revolves around a spell card known as Evil Eye of Selene, and Evil Eye of Selene gives all your other cards broken effects. Like, basically, your main combo play is normal summoning a Surzeal Watcher of the Evil Eye, and then searching out your Evil Eye of Selene, and then just sitting on it. Because Selene gives the most insane protection of any card you will ever see. Selene makes your card untargetable, and it can't be destroyed by battle or card effect. Now, sure, Evil Eye is kind of lackluster this format for one reason, and that is because this is a back row format, and back rows are gonna get sniped a lot. But the thing is that this deck is just so good that you can get around that, because Evil Eye of Selene has recursion. You have cards like Evil Eye of Gorgonio that can search Evil Eye of Selene for a very minuscule cost. You have cards like Surzeal, which can search it. You have cards like Domain, which can search your Surzeal. The deck is so consistent because you'll almost always start out with one of your starter cards, on top of the fact that the deck can play Pot of Duality, because the deck doesn't special summon a ton other than with Evil Eye Awakening and with Basilisk. But, like, seriously, the deck is super solid. It's an amazing deck, and that is why it gets my number 1 spot. But tell me what you think down in the comments. Do you think I missed any super budget decks that could clap the meta? But yeah, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.